What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're back with D2 NewsWeekly, where we round up the main news updates for the week, plus take a look at some other things you may have missed. And Bungie give us a little extra commentary on some of the December update ability changes. They also tease info that we'll get before the 30th anniversary, and some extra changes for the Witch Queen timeframe. But we now also have more info on how Gamepass changes will affect players, and some extra news surrounding Destiny. So as always, I hope you guys enjoy this one. But getting into it, up first, the big news for this week dropped in the form of TWAB, where Bungie outlined a massive number of changes to abilities coming in December. I'll link the full video down below, but the highlights include that Bungie are adjusting essentially all ability regeneration rates in PvP, so we'll see fewer supers and grenades, but also different regen tiers for different supers based on their kill's potential. But there are also adjustments to grenade and ability damage and much more. One of the changes includes that dealing damage will now gain us super energy, as well as taking damage, so it's going to reward actual combat more efficiently. However, Kevin Yarn has added that self-damage does not contribute to energy gains. Makes sense, but it's good to know that they've taken it into consideration. Also, as we learned, flux grenades will now recharge very slowly, but they'll be able to one-shot kill in PvP, where a lot of other grenades aren't going to be able to do that. And Kevin Yarn has added that we tuned it to be difficult to land at longer ranges, and in general, we believe that one-shot kill abilities need to be earned through mastery or build crafting, but we'll be monitoring its performance. Somebody also asked if flux grenade will be the only one-hit kill grenade, or are all sticky grenades back to being one-hit kill, and DMG said nope, stickies with larger amounts of aim assist and projectile tracking will not have as much damage. The team has a long list of patch notes with exacts and will have those closer to launch. So there are even more changes that we don't know the specifics of just yet. But another change is that Titan shoulder charges of all variants will no longer one-shot players, but DMG pointed out that the exception to that rule will be the Peregrine Greaves, and so it will still be possible to reliably one-hit kill with shoulder charge, but of course it will come at the cost of that exotic slot. Additional shouts regarding changes in the December update include DMG saying they'll cover Dune Marches in a future TWAB, so it's possible we'll see one focused a bit more around exotic and armor changes. And in light of the ability changes we've learned about this week, some players were concerned about kill-based bounties and quests, with objectives based around abilities, and DMG said that the team will be tuning and even removing bounties in some cases, but this is something they expect to happen in the Witch Queen timeframe. So plenty more changes and a lot more discussion to come. However, do bear in mind, and Bungie outlined this in the TWAB, that next Thursday is Thanksgiving in the States, of course, so they said as such expect a very light TWAB on Wednesday instead. So stay tuned here on the channel, and I'll keep you posted with those updates if there's anything of significance. Also, be sure to give us any thoughts you may have about the ability changes in the comments section. But moving on, I was originally going to discuss an article by Paul Tassi about the Game Pass content changes for Destiny 2, but Bungie have now given us solid details on how this will affect players. So they say on December the 8th, Destiny 2 and its expansions Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light will leave Xbox Game Pass on console and cloud. Destiny 2 and current expansions will remain on Xbox Game Pass for PC though. I believe that is because it was added to PC a bit later on. And they say once D2 leaves Xbox Game Pass, players who don't own any of the expansions on the Xbox platform will lose access to campaign missions, expansion-specific activities like raids, dungeons, hunts, exo challenges, Nightfall strikes, and access to Trials of Osiris. But also the Stasis subclass, which is Beyond Light specific, as well as the Middle Tree supers for each subclass, and the 10% off perk for silver purchases and other game add-ons. So this will affect quite a few different bits of content, but they add that items such as exotics already acquired will still be available for players who earn them, and previously purchased season passes will remain active, but players who wish to continue playing D2 on Xbox should look for Destiny 2 expansion discounts that will be available soon. They also add as a reminder that Witch Queen won't be available on console or PC Game Pass when it launches on February 22nd, so certainly bear that in mind. Bungie do also say that they're going to be doing some expansion discounts, so those will potentially be useful, look out for them on the stores, but otherwise I know there is definitely frustration about content being taken away from folks who've been enjoying D2 on Game Pass thus far, so give us any thoughts you have down below. Up next, a random interesting thing, but GameRant posted an article sharing that a Destiny player has made their super last for over 2 hours, and this was originally shared by Rockmaster J on Reddit, and they decided to go into throwaway using Bottom Tree Sentinel Titan, as well as Doomfang Pauldrons, until you can see they're using the shield throw right there, paired with the Pauldron, which grants super energy on void kills, as well as making melee attacks recharge shield throw. And in the throwaway on Shattered Throne, they're able to get it to last for 2 hours and 23 minutes, and so it is technically a legitimate super long super, and if there are enough enemies to hit, technically, as we've learned, it can go on for quite some time. GameRant posted another article right here, sharing a prediction around the drop rate for Vex Mythoclast. And essentially, the original Reddit post by Nutty Max outlines that by analyzing 9,760 players and taking into account private profiles and looted versus unlooted clears, that it looks like Vex has a drop rate of 1%, which increases by roughly 0.5% on the first clear of the week. But they also point out that statistically, that gives you a better chance of getting the weapon than if it actually had a 5% drop chance overall. Nonetheless, it definitely indicates there is some kind of bad luck protection, but there's also some speculation in there, of course, and there's still a conversation from players suggesting that the drop rate should be increased. So give us any experiences you guys have had with that down below, how many clears it took you to get it, or how many you've done, even if you haven't got it to drop yet. It's just an interesting point of conversation. Very quick random shout here, but Bungie on Twitter said that Crow and Keitel are just hanging out right now. What do you think they're talking about? And they share an image where we can see Keitel and Crow. And of course, this is in the space from the cutscene that we saw where Scions were attempting to assassinate Zavala. Who knows, there could even be a mild story tease in there, but Keitel certainly has to be roughly twice the height of Crow right there. And they uploaded a 4K version of that image. If you want to save it as a wallpaper or anything, I'll link it down below. Destiny 2 has also been nominated for the Best Community Support for the Game Awards 2021. And I think Bungie certainly have a pretty awesome community team who do a lot, so I will link the Game Awards website down below if you fancy voting for any of the games. And finally, a quick mention around Activision. Of course, Bungie and Activision were previously partnered, but Activision employees have been staging walkouts and calling for action over the past couple of months, really, regarding the overall equality in the company. And recently, another Wall Street Journal report has come out suggesting that the CEO, Bobby Kotick, was aware of many incidents of sexual harassment, assault, and gender discrimination across the company, but failed to ensure that executives and managers responsible were terminated or to even recognize and address the systemic nature of the company's hostile workplace culture. There's an article from Launcher about that, and then another article from IGN about a Blizzard co-lead, Jen O'Neill, who'd complained about equal pay at the company, but also about the general attitude and behavior of higher-ups and the culture of inequality. And she was finally offered an equally paid contract as the co-lead for the company, but only after actually resigning and a lot of complaints and things becoming public. And so yet again, more Activision staff are kind of stepping out. There have been strikes, and now once again a lot of legal stuff going on in the background. And while we can always assume that big corporations like this, especially based on some of their behavior around the actual products they launch, right, including pricing, microtransactions, and transparency around stuff, that of course can be what we get on the surface, but in the case of Activision Blizzard, there's kind of a long history of pretty gross behavior from higher ups in the company, which of course is able then to trickle down through different parts of the company. And I think it's getting pretty difficult for Activision to continue to apologize by putting up blog posts and things without anything actually changing, and the media is really starting to take a lot of notice of this stuff. So I'd imagine we're going to continue to hear pretty toxic stuff about what's been going on inside of the company. And of course, for Bungie, it's going to be even more of a good reason that they're no longer with Activision, and there's no kind of affiliation there. But give us your thoughts down below, and as always, I'll drop those articles in the description box. Bit of a sideline there, but I think it's interesting tracking some of what's going on with Activision given its history with Destiny. For today though guys, I hope you as always have enjoyed the video. Once again, this one's aiming to be a kind of roundup of the key news from the week, as well as some of the stuff that comes out of the non-major news streams for Destiny. I'll do my best to keep posting these over the weekends, and so definitely get subscribed if you're new to the channel, and turn on notifications so I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.